Hey guys, week 2 here, CNC table tennis. As you can see, this week we're going to be talking about ping pong and why we think it's beneficial to know how to use a ping pong, or in other words, what would be known as a hardbat racket, which has the pips on the outside, the dots on the outside. And it's our opinion as coaches that if you're a good table tennis player, you should have an understanding of how to use these to a level where you can at least make power and consistency. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. I probably would like to add to that, like, the most important principle we think that is in the sport and the game is learning how to understand the difference between hitting the ball and spinning the ball. A lot of times with the modern rackets and the inverted rubber, it's very easy to start spinning the ball a little too much at first, and then you really don't understand and learn the principles of striking the ball, and that's what the hardbat really helps to exemplify.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of good players who perhaps are talented and we see they have a lot of ability, but they're just missing this concept of deviating your game between a flat counter, which I guess in Europe they call it maybe a drive shot, or a spin shot, which we call in America, we call it a loop. So basically in China, they use hurricane, the sticky top sheet. That's basically the same philosophy as using the hardbat. They make their kids use a racket that if you just touch it, it'll go down because it's so sticky and the rubber's so hard. And in our table tennis coaching clinics, we've noticed that the same fundamental applies to hardbat. When someone can't hit the ball consistently, we make them use this. So I guess we're going to do some on-the-table examples of how an inverted racket, you can kind of cheat with it, right? You can have this like little chicken wing stroke. But with the hardbat, if you just spend 5 minutes a day or a couple minutes every week, it's really going to give you that nice follow-through on your forehand. You're going to have a big comprehensive stroke, and on your backhand. And from there, you're going to have a proper grip and really good strokes. So we're going to show you on the table what that looks like.
Perfect.
Okay.
What's up, guys? So now we're back here with our regular table tennis paddle with a good inverted rubber on it. And I'm gonna demonstrate first what is the correct way to hit the ball. You start.
Yeah.
So the first exercise every player wants to start when they go to warm up is they walk up the table and want to do their forehand counter hit or drive. And it's really to establish just the good feeling, good hand and ball feeling, and just get some rhythm with the table, your partner, and the ball. As I mentioned previously, I think the biggest thing that gets misunderstood in the game is seeing the difference between this, okay, and then this, starting to spin the ball.
So obviously we have benefits of the faster inverted rubber, but from a coaching perspective, one thing that we've noticed is that we kind of call it cheating. There's like 2 different ways you could cheat. You could either come over the ball too much, right? And the only time that stroke would work would be if there's already a lot of energy on the ball. That's spinning it too much, but a lot of our students also, if there's like underspin, they cheat by carrying the ball over, right? So they go like that. So this rubber is so fast that you can sometimes cheat against underspin, or you can forget how to even hit it flat, right? You're just going like this. So as Connor was saying, you want to start like this, because if you can counter the ball, then you're going to know how to smash it, and you're going to know how to block it. If you only know how to spin the ball, that makes your game very one-dimensional, right? Yeah. There's more control with the flathead, right? That means that you can have a smash, you can have a block. If you only know how to spin the ball, that's a great shot, but that's only offensive. In table tennis, you need to be able to do a block, a smash. So to show how this could help, if I'm using the hardbat, right, and I just touch the ball, right? And sometimes I'll do this with some of my students who, again, they're talented, they're enthusiastic, and they're like, oh, this racket's no good, I can't use it. And I say to them, well, do you think Mao Long could take this racket and beat you with it? Probably, because he would just say, oh, I have to open my angle. So this is why this is a good racket. Look, it makes you swing. Look at that nice swing. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. So that's one thing that my dad as a coach really emphasizes. It gives you that nice follow through. And how does that, the video title is, how do we turn ping pong players into table tennis players? You can see it one more time. The stroke is really all the way. A nice, pretty stroke. Look at that. I use my body. I'm getting power from my legs. And then how does that translate? That translates to this racket because it's the same stroke. When I take a step off to loop the ball, look at that. Same stroke. Same stroke. Same stroke. So if you can learn how to make power with this, you could actually become a good player really fast with this. And Connor and I are going to talk about some experience we have with that. So, alright, so we're going to finish the video with just some good rallies that exemplify, again, why a ping pong or hardbat racket can benefit your table tennis journey and your stroke. And we also have some examples of where we first noticed that. So, we do event coordinating where we work with a lot of beginners playing ping pong, and who did you notice were the best players? At these companies, they have the ping pong rackets usually, and it's usually who stands out to you as winning these tournaments.
Yeah, definitely the tennis pros, right? All the tennis players.
Yep.
Sure, they have a pretty good understanding of, but even then, honestly, the tennis player, you see them a lot sometimes try to
hit it too thin.
Yeah, they try to come over the top of the ball.
Because they do spin the ball in tennis.
Right,
yeah.
So you even see some issues there sometimes.
Well, so the reason that the tennis players are a little bit better than other players is because in tennis, you really learn how to create power with your body. Mm-hmm. So people who just only have ever played table tennis, they usually love to use like Tenergy or something at first, and they're just spinning the heck out of it. So if you can learn how to hit with power with this racket 10, 20 in a row every time, I guarantee you're not going to confuse it with an inverted racket. You're going to be able to be good at both.
For sure.
Do you think so?
Yeah, then it's much easier to learn how to develop the control for the spin of the ball after you've learned how to hit it solidly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you it's really just if you can smash it every time with this, then you're going to be able to change it over to the inverted racket. But it doesn't go really the other way. You're not going to be amazing ripping 10, 20 balls away from the table with that, and you can't hit one with this. It doesn't work the other way.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I've heard a lot in the game. It's like spin gives control, which is totally true. But it also can, if you don't have a comprehensive understanding of how to hit the ball, it's like spin can also
Make you lose feeling.
Yeah, make you lose feeling and control.
Yeah. Spin gives control because of what it literally does. The ball comes down onto the table. But the way that, you feel the ball and, all the talented players with lots of touches, you feel it sink in, you do some lobbing, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a game of ratios. You need to know when to make a lot of spin and when to not make any spin at all and find everything in between.
Yeah. Again, to just finish here, it comes back to who are the best players. The Chinese are the best players for a long time because one of the reasons I think is that they created that Chinese rubber because it forces you to learn how to use your body. Mm-hmm. So in Europe, this is something they've gotten better at, but a lot of the kids will kind of have funny strokes and they don't have the same technique. You look at 10 different players, they have 10 different strokes because they're creating a lot of speed or they're generating power through their arm. Mm-hmm. But with hardbat or with Chinese rubber, you're learning just like in karate, you're learning how to generate power from your body, and then spin actually is just easy. The spin is coming more from the hand and the wrist. But if you can get the body and the hand together, then you have a top player.
You actually made a good point that made me think of, it's like talking about who do we see initially translate well to playing ping pong? Honestly, baseball players. Mm-hmm. I see baseball players more than tennis players even when they grab the ping pong
Very
racket.
coordinated.
They learn they can hit the ball very solidly.
Golf, too.
Golf as well.
Golf players, they know how to create. Yeah,
They learn how to hit solidly. 'Cause in baseball, you can't really, with the bat and the ball, it's like you can't really spin the ball. So you get a real good
You gotta get good
appreciation for really
contact.
making good solid contact.
So we're gonna just play some points with the hardbat, and you'll see how much you have to swing. And you can actually have a lot of fun playing with these. So we're just gonna finish with some ping pong rallies. And in the following weeks, we're gonna get more into stuff that table tennis players are wondering, like how do I do a backhand loop off underspin? Or how do I return a side spin serve? So again, we want these videos to be for people all the way from beginner to people who are pretty good at table tennis. But today's theme is, we've played ping pong in our basement. Does that have any translation to table tennis? Yeah, it does. You can actually, if you have good strokes with a ping pong racket, you could pick up table tennis pretty quick.
For sure.
Yeah. Next week's probably going to be about the grip. So you do want to have a good grip. If you're playing ping pong like this, you can't translate it to table tennis.
Right.
But if you have your standard shake hand or pen holder grip, which that'll be next week's video, proper grip.
Sure.
All right. Sound good? All right, let's have a few fun rallies.